When I was a child, I was a very active child, and I remember being in class, and there was no such thing as attention deficit hyperactive disorder. But I remember in class, I was the kid that had it, and I remember being sent to counseling, and they were trying to figure out what to do with me. But there weren't a lot of kids. Most of the kids just sat there and did their homework and went to home study, and but I was the hyperactive kid, so it was very unusual for a child to be like that. I guess the question is today, why are so many kids being diagnosed with bipolar disorder? Why are so many kids that are so hyperactive they have to put them on Ritalin? And with the bipolar disorder, there's up to 1 million kids now being diagnosed with that. You have doctors overdiagnosing. That's clearly being shown now. You have the pharmaceutical industry pushing drugs, all kinds of, a myriad of drugs that the Food and Drug Administration has only approved a few of them, and for adults. But doctors are prescribing them for children. So you have all these children in the schools on drugs, being toned down, so they'll sit at their desk. And what we're finding is, even with the drugs that they're taking, they're not doing any better academically. They're just sitting there like zombies. But in the end, I guess the question is why, in my day where there's so few kids like that, and why there's so many today. And you're talking 30 or 40 years later. Maybe if you go back 20 years ago, you didn't have that problem. So what's happened in between? I think there's a number of things that have happened, and I think technology is one. With all the video games and the internet and the headphones, kids are left floating in virtual non-reality now. There's no community among people. And I do think that the video games, and especially television, plays to a certain area of the mind, the brain, that makes kids more active in a very strange way. But it also, kids no longer have an attention span. They have difficulty focusing in class. Even television is cut into little slices now. The news is a good example. Major news items, the world's ending, tsunami kills 100,000 people, are 3-minute stories. When they interview people, they rush them off the air because they know even the average adult now does not have a good attention span. So how do you expect children to sit in class and not be hyperactive after all these technological things being shoved at them? I think a more important thing, though, is parents. Parents, by and large, spend much less time with their children now. They call it quality time. But I keep saying it's not quality time, it's a lot of time you have to spend with your kids. When I'm coming to work a lot of times and I'm driving down the road, I look at the kids on the side of the road waiting for the school bus. There may be 10 kids standing there and they all have headphones on. No one's talking. What's essentially happened, I believe, is that the key organic building block of our society has broken down, and that's the family. And I think that if we're going to cure this problem we see in the schools now, it's not drugging the kids. It's parents communicating with their children. It's parents getting off the cell phones. It's parents staying home with their children as much as they can, not putting them in daycare facilities with other people who leave them sitting for a long period of time and no human touch. And we need to become parents again. We need to take that very seriously. And our society has become irresponsible. We need to become responsible again for our children. If we're going to have children, we need to take care of them as parents. And above all, we need to start communicating with them as adults to children in a loving way.